10 years later, as I stood in the windswept churchyard of St Anselm's on the chill afternoon of the 8th of May, my mother's edict was a gramophone needle grinding circles inside my head. Funerals and weddings. Funerals and weddings. Only a few months ago, Ben and I had been married in this small Norman church, and now I stood under the elms, abject with misery, waiting for the Reverend Roland Foxworth to begin the burial service. I was living a nightmare. Once I had been Miss Ellie Simons, resigned, if not content, with my lot as an overage, overweight virgin. Tipping the scales at 13 stone wasn't so bad. I had my work as an interior designer, my cat Tobias, and my motley kith and kin had reduced social contact to the annual Christmas card. Then, fate had struck in the form of an invitation to a family reunion at the home of Uncle Merlin, an ancient eccentric, who had spent the last half-century walled up in his castle on the cliffs above the village of Chitterton Fells. To go or not to go? Was it worthier in the mind to spend 2 days being the butt of familial fat jokes, or to send a gracious decline, knowing full well that Aunt Astrid and her flawless daughter Vanessa would be snickering up their mink cuffs at my refusal to show my face and attendant chins? Impetuously, I telephoned eligibility escorts, and before I could rethink my pride and principles, its proprietress, Mrs. Swabbercher, had rented me Bentley T. Haskell, darkly handsome one-time chef, now aspiring writer of porno prose, to accompany me for the fateful weekend. And what a weekend! Uncle Merlin was a toothless personage in a wee willy winky nightcap. The other relations were at each other's throats from sunrise to sunset. As for Bentley T. Haskell, I swiftly came to feel I had grossly overpaid for his escorting services. The man was snotty, defensive, irreligious. He immediately turned his lascivious eyes on cousin Vanessa and had the effrontery to turn nasty when, under the extreme provocation of mounting tension, I made a little slip and announced that he and I were engaged to be married. Naturally, I had every intention of doing the decent thing and setting him free. A few weeks later, however, events took a tortuous turn. Word came that Uncle Merlin had died. Haskell graciously returned with me to Chitterton Fells for the funeral, and at the reading of the will, we were stunned to discover that my capricious great-uncle had left the entire estate to us, jointly, upon the fulfilment of certain conditions. One was that I lose approximately 1/3 of my weight, and another that Ben write a book containing not one naughty word, and, oh yes, we had to reside together in that derelict house for a period of 6 consecutive months. After judiciously weighing the pros and cons, we leaped at the golden ring. I thrilled to the challenge of tearing down cobwebs, sweeping out half a century of dirt, seeing Merlin's court live again, as it had in his mother Abigail's day. We hired a housekeeper, Miss Dorcas Critchley, who became my dearest female friend in the world. Jonas, the curmudgeonly gardener, metamorphosed into Jonas, the faithful unto death. And Ben came to write the most scintillating cookery book ever to set sail through the post in hopes of landing a publisher. Of course, I never dared hope that he and I would experience a fairy-tale love story, utterly in keeping with our turreted, moat-endowed residence. But we did. And, at age 28, I was reborn. I shed 4.5 stone. The hair, the eyes, ears, nose were the same, but I got a new body. Oh, God, why did you dangle happiness in my face, only to snatch it away? Ben had helped me end my tragic love affair with eating, ironic considering his profession. Because of him, I stopped feeding myself like a refrigerator, lost the stipulated poundage, learned to like myself a bit better, and at long last had the sweet knowledge that a real live man loved me. We were going to live happily ever after. The one thing I overlooked was that I was the sort of woman who bred disaster the way hamsters breed hamsters. A seagull uttered a plaintive...